The next few weeks pass by quickly. I continue to study with Jason, go to study group with my friends, tutor with Minnie in the library on Saturday, and write to Hieronymous every single day. I missed him more than I could put into words, but we tried to focus on talking about what we were up to instead of what we missed most about each other. While it was nice to hear, it would only make me feel like it was my fault that we were apart, and I couldn't dwell on those thoughts. On the last Friday before break officially started, my morning walk to class was interrupted as I noticed a familiar figure sitting on a bench in the quad. He was reading a book, although, as I got closer, I noticed that the cover was spelled so that no one could see what it was. I crossed my fingers that Potsdam hadn't kept a copy of my diary in reserve as I head over to him, trying to put on my brightest smile. "Hello, sir," I say genially as I approach. "What are you doing here?" "Ah, Tori," Aloysius says as he closes the book and tucks it under one arm. "How are you doing? Are you enjoying your final year at Iris Academy?" "Things are going well," I say with a quick nod of my head. "I think this is the first winter I've been here where it hasn't snowed at all, but that's okay. What are you doing here?" "Waiting for you," he replies as he gets to his feet. "We must be off." I can't help but flush. I don't want to ask you to wait a few hours, but I still have my last day of class, so... "I'm sure you won't be missing much," Aloysius says as he reaches out and takes my arm, and I don't have time to reply as he transports me to Ravane Cottage. My vision swims for a moment before I'm greeted with a familiar fountain in the foyer. I'm standing there in my school robes, my book still tucked tightly under one arm. I did not consent to that," I snap at him. "I told you I had class. I see Mariette hovering in the doorway, and I quickly push a smile in her direction. "Bej's parents would like to spend some time with you before your gala tonight," he explains. "Do you plan to keep them waiting?" I pause and shake my head. No, if the king and queen of an entire country had personally requested my presence, then I suppose I had to oblige. "No, sir." "Good," Aloysius says as he shoots me a tight-lipped smile. "Now then, your maid has already selected your outfit. Get dressed, quickly. We should be off within the hour." "Yes, sir," I reply as I turn and head over towards Mariette. She takes my hand and squeezes it excitedly as she leads me down a long corridor and into a room that looked like a sewing room. "Oh, mademoiselle," Mariette says as she gives me a quick hug. "Ça va bien? You are well, non? The school's been treating you well?" "Oui, Mariette," I say happily. "Classes are going well, I'm learning a lot, and you'll be pleased to hear that I haven't been caught up in any sort of drama. I'm keeping my nose to the ground and focusing on my studies." "I am sure your husband will be very pleased to hear it," Mariette teases. "He writes to you often?" "Every day," I say happily. "He is very proud of me. He's happy that my friends and I have formed a study group so that we can hang out and learn. He even seems to be getting along better with my friends, which makes me really happy because he used to absolutely hate my best friend and her brother, but considering she's my roommate now, he trusts me to help, or he trusts her to help watch over me." "Ray, you said as much in your letter," Mariette replies. "Elle s'appelle Virginia, non?" "Yes," I say happily. "Oui, I'm rooming with her and Becky until I graduate." Mariette clucks her tongue as she shakes her head. "And how is the little miss?" "She's doing well," I tell her. "She's happy to be out of Miss Minchin's rags. She's sleeping in an actual bed, and she is wearing real clothes now." "That is good to hear," Mariette says, and I hesitate for a moment before I ask her the question that I want to ask. "The marks on her stomach are gone," I tell Mariette. She just hums to herself as she makes alterations to my dress, but I notice she won't meet my eyes in the mirror. "I'm just wondering, perhaps Becky isn't Potsdam's daughter after all. Perhaps someone put those marks on her stomach to make Potsdam think she was her daughter to give Becky a better life." Mariette frowns as she stands up. Are you accusing me of something, mademoiselle? No, I tell her resolutely. No, I'm asking you if you were the one who did that to Becky so that she would have an opportunity to get a better life. I'm not mad if you did. I just want to know the truth. Mariette forces a smile in my direction. I thought young Miss was not concerning herself with such things. I want to protect Hieronymous, I tell her firmly. If Potsdam finds out that Becky may not really be her daughter, then she might be scheming to hurt him behind his back. I need to know if I should be wary or not. I do hope you know me well enough to know by now that I wouldn't go blabbing what you did to everyone. Everyone thinks Becky is Potsdam's daughter, and I think it should stay that way. Mariette is quiet for a moment as she weaves my bangs into a loose band around my ears. The way Miss Minchin treated that girl was deplorable, she says at length. Sometimes the best we can do is seek the best for one another. Understood, I say simply, eager to change the topic. So how do I look? I'm going to be meeting with a queen and king of a country, who are the parents of a friend of mine. I've already met his mom, but that was just a quick meeting, and I was in my school robes at the time. Apparently, they want to spend time with me, and I want to make a good impression. You look like a proper lady should, Mariette says as she brushes my hair out behind me. I think we should leave your hair long, no? Your dress reveals your status. Your long hair displays your youth. I like that way of looking at it, I say as I admire myself in the mirror. I'm pleased to see that I seem to have lost at least a little bit of weight. Virginia had been running me ragged in sports club every Sunday, but I didn't mind. She was showing me that she cared, in her own way. We head out of the room and I head back into the foyer. Lord Grabiner, I say as I perform a small curtsy. Am I appropriately dressed now? Beautiful as ever, Aloysius says, but there's a clear note of disinterest in his voice, and I notice that he's been acting like he's had no patience for me all day. Did he get into it with Hieronymous? Or did he feel he had done enough to get us on good terms during our last encounter and was no longer interested in keeping up pleasantries? Regardless, he holds out his hand for mine, and I quickly take it. There's something strange about the magic around me. I can't open my eyes, but I feel like I am drifting through the void for much longer than I usually am. I can almost feel my body twisting and contorting as if I was being dragged through several dimensions. Behind my eyelids, I can see dark colors of purple and navy and black all flooding across my vision in different patterns. I start to feel nauseous, and it almost feels like each of my hair follicles was trying to pull away from my head, one strand at a time. I try to find my voice to call out to Aloysius, but I can't even open my mouth. For a moment, I'm wondering if I had somehow become trapped in a memory, or maybe trapped in a space between worlds, when I feel my feet land on a tile floor. There, you're all right, Aloysius says as he brushes my hair behind my shoulders and holds me upright. My nose is running, there are tears in my eyes, and I swallow the spit in my throat as I try to get a hold of myself. What was that? I ask. What the hell did you just do? Watch your language here, he warns. I teleported us. Quite a long way, too. Obviously, you can see now why Hieronymous complains about it so. The feeling is unpleasant, no matter how many times you take the trip. Unpleasant is one word for it, I say as I straighten up. I take a moment to step away from him and survey the area around me. We're standing on a tile floor off to the side of the room, but there's a long red carpet that runs up the length of the room, leading to a big door set into the middle. There are big white statues lining the carpet every few feet, some formed in the shape of creatures I've never seen before in my life. As I glance at them, I notice something that looks like a camel with the head of a shark. Another creature had the face of a llama, but the mane of a horse and legs like a lion. Were these all creatures that lived in this area? Or the other world in general? Would I ever encounter any of these creatures? And, more pressingly, were they all as dangerous as they looked? Lady Grabiner, Someone comes out of a small door to the side that I hadn't noticed, and I see Beige making his way towards me. For a moment, I almost can't imagine how Daniel Callister and Beige were ever the same person. Beige is wearing a true uniform of a prince, with a button-up high collar, hefty shoulder pads, a navy vest inset with gold buttons, and a long dark cape that fell to his knees. "You cannot be Beige," I say as I stare at him. As he comes over and hugs me, I notice that he seems at least a foot taller than me as well. The last time we had hugged goodbye, he had been a tad bit shorter than me. Now he placed his chin on the top of my head as he wrapped his arms around me. "Okay, it's only been a few months. Did you magic yourself taller?" Beige just laughs and shakes his head. "This is my true form. I made myself look smaller when I went to Iris Academy because I didn't want to seem intimidating." "You look good," I tell him as I look him over. "Very dapper." He blushes and shrugs, that familiar shrug that could only have come from Daniel. He turns to face Aloysius. "Good afternoon, Lord Grabiner." "Good afternoon," Aloysius replies pleasantly. "I am just here to deliver Lady Grabiner, as requested. I have matters to attend to, but you will see me again shortly. Please do give your parents my regards." "Of course," Beige replies, and Aloysius gives a quick nod to me before he teleports away. "So, he literally just grabbed me while I was walking to class this morning and told me your parents wanted to see me," I tell him. "So, don't worry, I'm not super stressed out at all." "You have no reason to be stressed out," he replies. "My mother wanted to show you our gardens before the gala tonight." He pauses as he looks me up and down. "You look so different, Tori. I like the hair, though. It's back to being totally blue again." "Well, that makes two of us," I say as I laugh behind my hand. "But yes, Hieronymous likes it blue, so I think it's going to stay that way." I pause. "I know I told your mother once that I had blue hair, but she's not going to think it's too weird, is it?" "Not at all," Beige replies with a shake of his head. "At least you don't have wings or big ears or anything like that." "I can't imagine how hard it would be to wear dresses like this if I had wings," I say in consideration. "Remember, I've been training to be a proper lady now." I perform a low curtsy and Beige laughs. "Well done," he replies. "Now come on. It's time to meet my parents."